Let's have a look at multiplying algebraic fractions. So a reminder when we're dealing with numbers that we've got two types of things that we could do. We could be multiplying by a whole number, or we could be multiplying by a fraction. So if I'm multiplying by a whole number, you've got to remember the whole number, we can always divide anything by 1. And then I simply want to multiply the top things and the bottom things. And so that's why I get the equation that I've got there. If I'm multiplying by a fraction, it's just straight across the top for the numerator, multiply the denominators together, and there's our answer. So let's have a look at this example. I've got 3a divided by 5 times c divided by 2. I just need to multiply the top line, the numerator, 3a times c, and the denominator, 5 times 2. And now I need to do a bit of simplifying. So 3 times a times c is 3ac, and on the bottom 5 times 2 is 10. And that's it, that's my answer. Let's try this one. So with this one, there's a couple of ways that we can do it. We can either cancel and simplify first and then multiply, or we can multiply and then simplify. So I'm just going to do the multiplying first and say, right, I want to multiply the numerators. So that's going to be 6p times 10c on the top. And then I multiply the denominators, 5 times 2pq on the bottom. Let's simplify that. 6 times 10, do the numbers. 6 times 10 is 60. And I've got a c and a p on the top. Notice that I've just put them in alphabetical order, because that's a kind of normal mathematical thing to do. Divided by on the bottom, 5 times 2 is 10, and a p and a q. Now I need to think about simplifying. Okay, so now if I want to simplify that, I need to first of all look at the numbers, 60 and 10. What do they have in common? They've both got a common factor of 10. So I can say, right, 60 is 6 times 10, and I've got times c times p. And on the bottom, I've got 1 times 10 times p times q. And now what I want you to think about is cancelling. If I'm multiplying top and bottom by the same number or term, then I can cancel. So I've got times 10 on the top and a times 10 on the bottom. They can be cancelled. I've also got times p and times p, top and bottom, which can be cancelled. So now let's think about what's left on the top. And I've got a 6c on the top, and I've got a 1q on the bottom. And I can write it as that, or I can write it as 6c over q. Doesn't matter which. So that's one way to do it. If I want to multiply first and simplify second. But as I said before, you could actually simplify first and then multiply second. So let me just show you that one. So if I have that same question, what is it, 6p over 5 times 10c over 2pq, 10c over 2pq. I can look at that and say, right, I know I can cancel if I'm multiplying top and bottom by the same thing. So I've got a p on the top and a p on the bottom that I can straight away cancel down. I've got a 10 divided by 5, which would leave me with 10 divided by 2, which leaves me with 5 on the top. And then further, I've got a 5 on the top and the 5 on the bottom, which also cancel out. So now, what am I left with? I've got a 6 and a c on the top and a q on the bottom. So the only thing with this, doing it this way, is sometimes it's easy to lose a variable or a number for it to get lost in amongst all the cancelling. So that's the only thing is you just have to look very carefully to make sure you don't mistake or lose something.